Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my October favorites of the month, and ironically I am drinking a hojicha latte, but I didn't have any hojicha favorites of this month, so all of these powders are all matcha. So let's get into it, shall we? I'm really excited about this one to share with you guys because there are a couple of newer brands that I've never tried before and maybe you've never heard about. So I'm really excited to just share about it and share what I've experienced with each of them. So let's start out with this one because the packaging is one of my favorites. And I feel like it's so fall and fitting for the month of October with the orange package. But this is from the brand Mellow Matcha, and they kindly sent me this to try. But at first, when I first tried it, I wasn't too big of a fan of the taste profile, just normally because I'm somebody who doesn't love a really grassy matcha, and I typically stay away from grassiness. Not that it's bad, it's just a taste profile I don't really gravitate towards a lot. But the more that I drank this one, the more that I really appreciated it because it's also really creamy, and I feel like it's such a good everyday matcha powder. It's very simple in the notes that it has, and it's not super bold in the matcha flavor, so I feel like it's very easy to drink in a sense. It is a bit astringent, and like I said, it's a bit grassy, but I don't think those things are bad. I actually think the astringency works really well with the grassiness of this matcha powder, and the creaminess of it I feel helps to balance it out so it's not super overpowering. But I have been gravitating towards this in the month of October just a lot more because of how well the flavors and the notes work together. So this one, I think if you are a beginner in matcha and figuring out what you like, this is a good place to start too. And if you are somebody who likes grassy matchas, this is a good one. Again, it's not super overpowering, so it's not super you're straight up drinking grass, but it is there. It's a more prominent note in this blend. Okay, and then next up, you guys have probably, if you are very familiar with a lot of other matcha brands and other matcha creators like me, you've probably seen this packaging before and you've probably seen other people try it, but I never had the opportunity to, I guess, try this out myself, and I honestly didn't know where to buy it, and I just have so many other powders I wanted to get through, but this one was another one that was kindly gifted to me. And this one is the brand Aoi Secha, and this is the Yayama blend. And this one I felt like I had a crazy experience with just because of the taste that I experienced was one I've never had before. And I've had really creamy matchas and I've had really umami matchas, but I never really had a sweet umami creamy matcha where the sweetness and the creaminess equaled the umaminess of the matcha powder. And I think that's why it took me by surprise, because it wasn't sweet like ice cream. It was more I would say shoyu ice cream is probably the best way I can describe it, where it's not a vanilla ice cream sweet. It's shoyu mixed with milk type of sweet, if you understand that. It's the mixture of the umaminess with the creaminess makes it this middle ground of being sweet and salty. And I think that's what really took me aback, because sometimes I'll get a little bit of umami along with some sweetness, but usually one or the other is more overpowering when I taste it. So to have a powder be equal, I felt in the sweetness and the umaminess of the matcha was crazy. And especially as a latte, making it even more creamier, I felt was such a crazy like a crazy taste for my taste buds because I don't think I've ever experienced something like that when drinking a matcha. So this one for sure made an impact on me, and like I still remember the way it tastes. Great matcha, like it had just the right amount of flavor of the matcha, the sweetness and the umaminess, like it works so well together, and it's so creamy and it's smooth. There is a little bit of bitterness and astringency in it, but again, not a bad thing. I think it works really well all together as a powder. And if you get the opportunity to try it, I want you guys to try the Yayama one, but I know they have other ones that I haven't tried yet either, but this one is amazing. And it's definitely one that I think will take you on an experience for sure. And then the next one is, this is another one that was kindly gifted to me. This is the Ikomiki and the Suyen blend. And this one actually won an award, I think, for this powder in terms of like taste, I believe. But this is another one that I haven't heard of until they asked to send me their powder. And I have like, again, like all of these, I don't have any obligation to like post or like say anything about. They just asked if I wanted to try it. So me coming here and saying all these things are truly like my opinions about it. And I truly do love each and every one of these. But this one is, it's unique in that it has like notes of dark chocolate, but it's like umami, it's like slightly sweet, slightly roasted. And I loved that even in a latte, it was still like a strong flavor. And like the notes still really carried through in the milk. But yeah, like think like dark chocolate, and not like dark chocolate in like the taste, but I think like dark chocolate in like the creaminess of dark chocolate. Not like a super dark chocolate, but like, you know, dark chocolate has like that mix of like roastedness in it plus like creaminess. Like that's what I experienced when I was drinking this one. I was very pleased with this, and it's very easy to drink, but the main notes that I think stood out to me the most was the creaminess, the umami, and the nuttiness of this one. And you guys know I love a nutty matcha. So, and these last two, I know you are all not a stranger to. These are both from Rocky's Matcha. This one is the Oishi blend, and then this one is their Sujiki blend in this light blue one. But both of these I was also very shocked with. So Rocky's Matcha, they came out with these different blends recently, and I love all of their other ones. I know you guys hear me talk about this brand very highly, especially like their Asahi and their Uji Hikari blends. Those are my top favorites along with their ceremonial blend. But I think those may need to move over on my list because of these two blends right here. And let me tell you, the two like favorite notes that I experience in matchas are roastedness and like sweet creaminess, like similar to ice cream. And I experienced both of those things in both of these powders. So I'm getting ahead, but let me talk about the Oishi blend first. So when I tried it as a Yusucha, I didn't not like it, but I felt like I was kind of worried that I wasn't gonna like it as a latte because of how it tasted like on its own without like any water or anything. But it was very punchy, and it kind of had like a astringent, like dry mouth feel to it, so it was lingering on the tongue for a little bit, and it kind of created this experience where like it coated my entire tongue with like the taste of this one and like the astringency of it. So I think for me, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll like this one, and I couldn't really like pinpoint specific like notes in it either that I was like fond of. So I was like, okay, a little bit hesitant. But when I tried this as a latte, it was amazing. And it tasted like kinako milk, so very nutty, very roasted, very creamy, and I just loved it. It was like a little bit of umami, like a lot of creaminess, a lot of roastedness. And yeah, it basically, to me, it tasted like I was drinking like kinako milk. And sometimes I make kinako milk to put with my matchas, but this blend by itself kind of gives that effect of like mixing kinako powder into milk and then adding like matcha to it. This is exactly like what I experienced with this oishi blend, and that's why I loved it so much. I think this is one of the higher, I guess like higher potency of like the nuttiness that I've experienced in a matcha, because a lot of the other ones I tried, they're like maybe like more fainter in like the roasted nuttiness taste profile, but this one I feel like it's very high, like it's very potent in that area, and I loved that so much, and it just tasted amazing. Like if you love like those nutty profiles with like just a little bit of like saltiness in it, and then you add the milk and it's like creamy, it works so well together. This one you should definitely try. But if you also really love a sweet, creamy, almost like ice cream, like matcha powder, this one. This Sujiki blend, I am like saving this for when I absolutely want this, just because of how good it is. And I think I like this one better than the Asahi blend, because similar to like this one where it was more like potent in the like nuttiness, roastedness, this one is potent in like the ice cream notes of this powder. Like it's pretty, what's like another word for potent? Like it's pretty bold, like it's very bold in the ice cream flavor. It was super sweet, super creamy, very smooth. And what I appreciated about it is like it didn't like lack in the matcha flavor. The matcha flavor actually was still there, and it tasted like ice cream. So like matcha melted ice cream, or like a matcha milkshake almost, like that's what it tasted like, but think really like sweet and very creamy. And I know Rocky's matcha is a little bit more on the more expensive side, but trust me, it's so good. And I think it's so worth it, especially if you love like those two notes like I do. And with that, we come to the close of my October favorites of this month. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found some new brands to try. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! What a good month of matcha.